Welcome to the Two Tunes podcast.
Hello, welcome.
How are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm still getting over being sick.
Yeah.
This is coming out about a week after
exactly.
we recorded, but also like in real time
Yeah.
a week after we didn't double up. So I'm still not 100%.
The question is, did anyone guess right?
If you guessed just a really bad cold, then you were correct. That is exactly what I have.
This is a bad cold.
Yeah, they didn't do a flu test. I did do COVID tests. I did a couple, and they were all negative. And yeah, they didn't do a flu test. I guess I didn't really. Based on what I know about people who've had the flu, I don't think I've had the flu, so that makes sense. But yeah, it's just a bad cold. And I guess it's just going around.
Yeah.
Like the doctors were just like, yeah, it's like really crappy colds. And then they just like linger.
Like that Cranberry song?
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Yeah. So it's all right. Feeling better, but not 100%.
You know, like, this is off topic, but on topic because you just said feeling.
Okay.
And I was like, feeling good.
Sure.
Right. I wish I had like things lined up, or just I was really quick
Like we
about
were
it.
like morning radio.
Sure. Because I do that a lot.
Morning
Like,
radio?
No. When I think of a song,
Okay.
like if somebody drops something, I think of "Gravity" by John Mayer.
Sure.
This kid, this kid that is part of the music program, who says hi to me every day. We were walking through the hall and she dropped something, and I'm like, oh wait, and like I had my computer open, and I'm like, this is for you, and it's like "Gravity," and I'm just like, what?
Nice.
Yeah.
You just need like a soundboard thing.
I do. I need a soundboard constantly on me.
Yeah.
Wow, I feel like nothing's happened.
I watched a show.
Yeah? What'd you watch?
So have you heard of the show Citadel?
Yeah, I have.
Have you watched it?
No, I haven't. But didn't we talk about this?
Maybe, because I watched it like a year ago.
Yeah.
It's good. I like it. And apparently they are doing a season 2.
I looked into that, and there's like 3 shows.
Well, so here's the thing. So I noticed, because I was watching this other show called The Terminal List, which don't bother. That was lame. The premise was like pretty good, and it just, I don't know, it just wasn't great. But anyway, I kept seeing this like Citadel Diana.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, okay, spinoff, cool. And then I realized, oh, it's like an Italian show that is based in the world of Citadel. And then, excuse me. I also noticed this other one called Citadel Honey Bunny.
Yep.
And it's an Indian show
in
the world of Citadel. So I watched Diana this week.
Is it it's in the language?
So
right?
yeah, I watched it dubbed.
Okay.
Just because that's how it naturally occurred. And that was fine because I was like doing some work while I was watching. So it was better to be able to hear what was happening and not have to like read the subtitles at all times.
It'd be in Italian. Yeah.
Or French or German, because they kind of speak all of those at different times. So
Yeah.
so the premise of Citadel, the original one, is that there's this organization called Citadel, and they basically were like a group of like good-hearted, good-minded people that were like, all these governments are so corrupt, and even like the watchdog organizations within them are so corrupt. What if we basically like made our own kind of thing to help, to work behind the scenes and have no political agendas other than just like the good of the world and whatever. And that's like that's that organization. That's their whole thing. There's also another group called Manticore. And Manticore is like, well, what if we did that, but we had our own agenda kind of thing. So in the original show, Citadel, there's these two, so they train spies and whatever, like that kind of stuff, and they have all kinds of cool gadgets. It's sort of James Bondy and whatever. But in the original show, there's 2 agents that are, I guess, like sleeper agents. Like they had their memories wiped or sort of like turned off so they could go like lead normal lives. And then I forget the inciting incident that happens that like they have to come back. It might be that Manticore starts like infiltrating Citadel.
Okay.
And so anyway, so they kind of have to like come back, and there's this thing that has their memories in them, and they can just like insert it like almost like a shot. But then like those might get destroyed and whatever. It's like a whole thing. It's a good show. It's interesting. But then these Diana and Honey Bunny are certainly, first of all, they take place in other countries, but they are also like showing sort of before and also, well, at least Diana shows like before what you see in the show Citadel, and then also like a little bit during, like it kind of overlaps a little bit with the show, and then you also see a little bit beyond. So it's kind of interesting. So like the show itself, I think takes place in like 2022, like when it came out.
Yeah.
But then like Diana takes place in like 2030, but then also 2022, and then also like before that.
Okay.
So Diana her parents were like killed in this plane crash, and it seems like super suspicious, like when her and her sister were pretty young, and so she like devotes her life to like looking into this thing and like trying to figure out what's going on, and through that she kind of like sets off some people's like alarms and stuff, and they're like, who's this, what's she doing? And so she gets recruited by Citadel to then infiltrate Manticore, basically. Yeah. And then also Manticore like recruits her, which is all part of the plan. Like Citadel knows that this is going to happen and stuff. And then so you see her, like what she goes through and stuff is like this sort of double agent.
Interesting. And
then Honey Bunny, I just started. I only watched the first episode last night. It's good.
Does it take place in the future, the past?
It takes place in 2000 and 92 so far.
Okay, so like really in the future or in the past.
Yeah. So I'm assuming that these couple people that you meet are part of Citadel, but you meet them in 2000 and then they keep flashing back to like 92 and stuff. So like, at least in just that first episode. So, but yeah, it's good if you like spy stuff.
And what's that on?
Amazon Prime. Okay.
Yeah. I finished Sweet Tooth. I know that's like really old Netflix show. Not old, but like it ended.
I read the first trade paperback of that and then never went back for whatever reason.
I don't know how similar they are at all.
I mean, I'm assuming Jeff Lemire is like involved, but also
probably
you don't want to just be exact.
Yeah, you don't want to remake the same thing. Kind of like Walking Dead. Like they changed it. They're like, oh, we'll hit these points, but like we won't do it exactly the same. Yeah. It's good. I'm not gonna spoil anything. Okay. But yeah.
How many seasons?
4. Okay. 4. And then I'm trying to finish things that I started a long time ago, like Ozark, which ended in 2022, and I'm on just finishing season 2.
Netflix seems, well, I don't know. They're all these streaming things are weird. Like there's some things that they let go for 4 seasons.
Yeah.
And then there's other stuff that they do like one of and like never.
Yeah, I don't really know the
Netflix seems to be a little better, maybe. I don't know. Or they just must have people that work for them that are like, no, I really like this.
Yeah. I also started watching that, like the Dark Side of Disney or Nickelodeon thing.
Oh yeah, that documentary.
That's super like I was just like, I don't want to watch it. I want to watch it but then I don't want to watch it. Yeah. And then and at the same time, I was like, you know what? Like,
because it's just like child abuse.
It is. It is 100% just be like, by the way, this person is kind of creepy, and this person totally is creepy, and then this other guy is also creepy, and they all worked at Nickelodeon on these shows. Yeah. It's like, ew, that's really messed up. Yeah. Like background checks, maybe just like talking to the guy, and this one guy was like he had a party at his house or whatever, and one of the kids came and like saw this thing, like it was like a Christmas room or whatever, and like there was a signed picture of what's the serial killer that dressed up like a clown?
John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah, it was him, and the guy was like super excited about it and wanted to like, oh, and then he did this and this, and it's like, you work in kids television, like what are you doing? And a lot of it is also just like, well, you know, like the parents didn't really step in because it's like, well, I don't want to ruin my kid's career. And it's like, but you need to step up for your kids, and it's like you might be the overbearing.
Well, it's like all this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, even like when people are like, well, why don't these people come forward for years and whatever? It's like, because they were scared.
Yeah.
Didn't think they had anybody to turn to.
Yep.
Thought that if you spoke up, you would, you'd mess up your career, which was probably true.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I get why people don't speak up. It sucks that like people have to feel that way, but I get it.
Yeah.
And especially like, parents with their kids, like, wow, you know.
But at the same time that I'm watching that documentary, I also was like, well, I just saw Ariana Grande in Wicked, and like she's an actress, like first and foremost. Well, really, she's a theater kid.
So you watched Victorious?
I did.
She's an idiot in that or whatever.
But yes, well, I wanted to be like, well, I want to watch Sam and Cat.
Okay.
Which is the spin-off of that. It's her character, and then Jenna McCarthy,
I think.
McCarty, whatever it is. She wrote a book called "I'm Glad My Mom Died" because her mom was also kind of abusive as her being a child star, and this is like, no, you got to keep working. No, he's a good guy. It's like, I don't want to do this. It's like, I don't care. I'm your mom. Anyways, I don't really know if those are the.
It feels correct.
But she wrote a book called "I'm Glad My Mom Died," which is like, wow, that's pretty harsh. Which means your mom was probably not great.
Yeah.
But I wanted to watch that show, and I'm like, well, I should probably watch it from the beginning. And then as I'm watching the show, I'm just like, I feel weird about this because then you see that guy's name so many times. Dan Schneider in the credits so many times, like 4 or 5 in an episode. And it's like, I understand that he did a lot in the show, but like, come on. Like, and also just, stuff. And then like while I'm watching this is the dark side of this thing that you're watching. It's just like, do I really want to do this now?
Yeah.
Like, who gets money for this?
Yeah.
Are residuals still happening? Speaking of residuals, I watched a YouTube video of the guy, he's an actor, he played 2 in Stranger Things.
Okay.
So,
in that one season.
Yeah. And they were talking about like residuals and like getting paid. And it's like, well, like in network television, this and this and this and this and this and this would happen. And like, this is how you'd get paid. But like the reason the writers went on strike or the actors went on strike was because like they weren't getting residuals from streaming services because there was none of this, blah, blah, blah. Okay. But he's like, but I was getting paid. And then he's like, I got a check for this much in this first episode. I wasn't in that episode. And then like he later goes on and is like, well, I was, but like for a split second, you see it or you miss it, kind of thing. And he was like, well, this is how much I got. And then like over the year, I got paid this much. And it's like, oh, well, it's still not a lot. But it's like, but we went on strike because this. And then going back to your point of like, you don't know how we'll do 4 seasons of this and that. Seasons aren't getting longer. And like, they're like kind of becoming a set number of episodes. And then they're not every year, they're every other year, which still points out that like, they still don't have a job. Yeah. These writers and these creators don't have a job. And then also, Disney or Nickelodeon and Disney did this a lot, where there was something where if you got a certain amount of episodes, you were able on a show, you'd get like a pay bump. So Disney and Nickelodeon, I don't know exactly which one. It might be both. It might be one or the other. Would never go to the 5th season. They would do 4 and then they'd rename it. And because they renamed it, it's the same show. But like
Sweet Life of Zach and Cody on deck or whatever.
Yeah.
Now we're on a ship.
Yeah, that's the exact point. Yeah. Is like, so they do 4 seasons of like Zach and Cody and Sweet Life, and then Zach and Cody like it's a different show. You're like, we're starting at 1. Yep. It's like, yeah, but all the people who watched the first 4 episodes of that or seasons of that thing are coming over if they watched all of them.
Yeah. Like, or they would take the same character or like same actors. Yeah. New characters, new show kind of thing.
Yeah. And which Dan Schneider did. Because like from the Amanda Show came Drake and Josh. From Jake and Josh came iCarly. From I don't know how iCarly started. And then there's Victorious, spawned Sam and Cat.
Right.
And, you know, like he'd just be like, I like to work with you. Let's put you in a show. Because then even the Amanda Show came from all that. Mm-hmm. So it's like very much like, you're a star, kid. Let's put you on in your own show. It's like, you became an adult. Let's kid over here to this kid and put him. So very weird and creepy in ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did I watch a movie? I don't know if I watched a movie or not. I did not watch a movie. Anyways, we're here to talk about 2 tunes. Mm-hmm. And you're first.
I am first.
Yes. And we have a theme unbeknownst to...
Well, we have double theme. First of all, it's cover songs.
Yes, it is a covers episode.
But the extra theme is that these are both the original songs were by either Fleetwood Mac or Buckingham Nicks.
Yeah. But we'll just say that Stevie Nicks was a part of both of these songs.
Okay. Lindsey Buckingham
was also in the second song, but I don't think he wrote it. I think it was Stevie Nicks who wrote that song. Anyways.
Okay.
We'll get there.
So my song is The Chain, originally by Fleetwood Mac. I don't know off of what album.
Rumors,
the big one, right?
The first one that they were on, Buckingham Nicks was on, I believe.
Okay.
Or, I mean, it is one of the big ones.
Sure. Yeah, do you want to play the original?
Yes. Sorry, I'm looking up Fleetwood Mac and seeing if this might be the first or second album. Anyways.
I mean, it's one of the big albums.
Yeah, it's got all the hits. Oh, crap. That's not coming through. I apologize. You didn't hear a darn thing here. And also, it's going to be quiet for some of you. Nobody heard it but me and Mr. Bittner.
Also featured in
if you want to turn
Guardians of the Galaxy
Volume 2. It was, yeah. Your volume's over there. Oh, I know what's going on. You couldn't hear it because it was only coming out of there.
Yeah. I don't know that I was familiar with this tune. I'm not a big Fleetwood Mac person.
Yeah.
I know like the hits, and I guess this maybe
is one
like
of them.
Yeah, but this isn't as big as some of their other tunes.
This is a pretty big one.
Well, anyway, I was not really familiar with this tune. Heard it in Guardians, obviously, and then I think I'm more familiar with like different people's covers of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the original, but there's various covers that I like also. And then the version that I'm bringing, which we'll listen to in a little bit here, I just found recently.
We got to get to the hook, right?
Yeah.
Man, I gotta listen to this record now. That harmony that was on the right is good. Do it again. So yeah, there's the original.
Yeah. Just so I want everybody to know what happens behind the scenes. Bo was like, all right, we'll stop the song there. And what he actually did was stop the recording. So we're back in. If there's like a weird bump or whatever, we're back in.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
So on the Wikipedia page for this song.
The wiki. And yeah, this was the second record that Buckingham Nicks was on.
Sure. There are 4 separate... I don't know what you would call them, like
sections,
I guess. One for the Tantric cover, one for the 3 Days Grace cover, one for the Evanescence cover, and one for the Chinchilla cover.
Chinchilla?
Yeah, apparently a multi-instrumentalist.
Okay.
That one just came out this year. I don't know why those 4 got their own particular things. But.
This record, oh my God, like each song has its own Wikipedia page. Mm-hmm. And I do know that this album was like the breakup album of everyone in the band. Mm-hmm. I think that like the McVies were breaking up and Buckingham Nicks was breaking up, but they're still like, hey, I'm going to write a song and you're going to sing it. Maybe. I don't know which was.
Yeah.
And the chain was like everybody wrote it. Where most of the other songs, actually all of the other songs, according to this, were written by other people, like just one person.
Yeah.
And this is like, no, we all wrote the chain.
Yeah. Anyway, the version that I found is by a band called Dikembe.
Dikembe Mutombo?
I assume they're named after Dikembe Mutombo, but maybe not. Also, a friend of mine, you know Dikembe Mutombo's like famous thing
No,
he
I
would
do not.
So he was a basketball player, right?
Uh-huh.
Big tall guy, and he would like block a lot of shots. And he would do, I'm going to showbow this, but it, like the wagging of the finger back and forth, like the no, no, no. He would like do that kind of thing, right?
Yes.
So a buddy of mine, he said he was getting on a plane one time, and you know, you got to walk past first class to get to the coach or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And as he's walking on, Dikembe Mutombo's sitting there in first class. And he's like, he recognizes him. He knows. He's a big basketball fan. He's like, I know who this is. But like nobody is making it. It's like, oh, just a very tall man, you know, in first class or whatever. And he like looks at him like I know, like, I know who you are. And Dikembe gives him the no, like, don't do it. Don't draw attention. Like, here's our little moment. But like, no. And he's like, I got the finger wag from Dikembe. He's like, that was even better than like, than meeting him, you know?
Anything.
It's pretty amazing. So anyway, I don't know a lot about Dikembe. They've been around since 2010, according to their Wikipedia. And they've released good bit of stuff. They have 4 albums. Excuse me, which is wrong because they have a covers album, which is not listed on here.
The Covers is also an album that keeps growing.
Oh, okay.
Because when I pulled up like info about this one, the date of release kept changing.
Oh, interesting.
Like each song had its own release date.
Okay, so every time they record a cover, they just add it too.
Yeah. So they're doing a very long waterfall release.
That's cool though. I like that.
I do too.
So anyway, I was listening to over Christmas break. I found this emo Christmas/winter song playlist. That I was listening to,
and All I Want for Christmas.
Yep. Yeah, their version of All I Want for Christmas Is You is
there's
on there.
some interesting covers on there. There's a lot of Fugazi covers on there.
Is it this one? The one you're talking about? Oh, on the covers album.
On their covers album. Yeah. There's like at least two Fugazi covers.
Yeah, but anyway, so this was kind of cool. This playlist was cool because it was like, here's a bunch of bands either I do know, and now they're not even necessarily like Christmas songs. It's just like, hey, we've got songs that are like winter themed, or some of them are Christmas, but they're not like us doing, you know, Let It Snow or whatever. Some of them are. And then it's also a bunch of bands that like I hadn't really listened to before. Yeah. So anyway, I'm like listening through stuff, and I get to this All I Want for Christmas by Dikembe, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. And some of the bands I would go to, like, hop over to their page and like listen to some songs and see if I wanted to like save a couple albums to listen to later, which I did with a couple bands, which will probably come up in the next few weeks. But this was one of them, and I was like, oh, they have a whole covers album. And so I was like, just like looking at the song list and seeing what there was, and I was like, oh, The Chain, I like that song. And so, like, let me listen to that one. And they have a cover of If It Makes You Happy by Sheryl Crow, which we featured a cover version of before.
Did you listen to the Shellac?
I did not. I'm not familiar with Shellac.
So Shellac is, so first off, the song name is A Prayer to God.
The Shellac song. Hang on. I just saw it.
But anyways, Shellac is...
Prayer to God, yeah.
Shellac is Steve Albini's band. One of Steve Albini's bands.
Okay.
And like the last half of that song is just like the same words over and over again.
Okay.
Which I don't think I'd ever bring on the podcast because it's just swearing.
Okay.
But it's basically about like
prude.
It's like, yeah, it's basically about a breakup, and then like, but the singer is very angry and wants the breakup person to die.
Gotcha. So it's like a Buckingham Nicks song.
Just and like, but praying to God is like, I just want this person to die. Can you just kill them? And then he says that over and over again.
Yeah. So on most of these covers, I guess most.
They're featuring somebody.
Featuring somebody. This one features Expert Timing.
Yep.
What I really think that means is it features the singer from Expert Timing, Katrina. just like looking at their page, because you hear like a female vocalist, and that's what it is. So anyway, that's a lot of me talking about a band I haven't listened to a lot, but I want to listen to more. So.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they are allowed to put Fleetwood Mac in the title of the song, by the way.
Maybe they have to.
No, they could just put, like, it's this song and put the credits of it. Anyways, here's the...
Or maybe they want to.
Yeah, well, yes. And that's the reason that they're not allowed to, is because they want to be like, well, if somebody searches Fleetwood Mac, our song will come up.
SEO, baby.
Yes. There's an interesting thing that only happens once earlier in the beginning of this, or early in the song. Yeah. And I wish it had happened more.
Point it out.
That just like weird like noise on the right. It feels like something's glitching, but that's like, it's just the guitar kind of kicking on. This also reminds me of Brand New a little bit.
Okay.
Vocally.
Yeah.
Oh, I got things to talk about now. Maybe we'll do it for later.
I like the addition of the female vocals too. Like, you don't need it, but it adds to it, and also draws a little bit from the beginning, or the original, obviously.
Yeah. What? Did he actually say words there? And then a little bit of Manchester Orchestra.
Okay.
Vocally. Okay. Just songs that other people could listen to. This is such a great part of this song.
Yeah.
Like, in the original, you're just like, well, you just play that.
Yeah.
Like, and that I don't think it's a bass. Well, it is a bass. Also, it's apparently one of the worst solos.
Okay.
Because it's just like two notes. I don't think, it's same note, just up and off.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen in the original. Or at least I don't think it does. But it's such a rocking end. And you'd think that this wasn't in the middle of the record.
Right.
Because this is track 1 of side 2.
Well, like studio noise there, a little talking.
Yeah.
Their first of all, their website is dikembedudes.com.
Okay.
And their bio on their Bandcamp is 4 dudes, basically from Gainesville, Florida. Our discography spans from jangly emo pop to grungy alt rock.
I don't think anyone's from Gainesville. Like, no one.
They're basically from Gainesville.
Yeah. But there's Gainesville. It's like nobody's from Gainesville.
Okay.
Like no cool bands are from Gainesville.
Okay. This is Bo being silly, by the way.
I am. There's a lot of.
Yeah.
Isn't that where Fest is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is cool too because this is on their Bandcamp, like where you would purchase their music. It says like it says hopefully we never make the same record twice. But it says other than our new record Muck, everything should be free / pay what you want, which is nice. And then it says if you can't afford Muck, please let us know and we'll help you out. That's cool.
I can't afford Muck. I mean,
but that's nice. Like that's cool.
No, I'd rather give them money.
Yeah, but I mean, like if people can, that's cool. They'll shoot you a SoundCloud link or whatever. Yeah, I want to check out more of their stuff though, because I like the few covers I've listened to. So I'm assuming I would like their original music.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'll give you a sneak peek of Wake by Dikembe.
A sneak peek of Wake?
Yeah, it'll give me a minute of this. So when I make playlists on Apple Music, it gives me suggested songs to add to that playlist.
Oh, okay.
Based on what I've already put on.
Sure.
Usually it's
Spotify
like
does it as well,
it's the same songs, right? Or like connected. Like I've got Andrew Bird on here, and I've got Fleetwood Mac, and I've got Dikembe. So let's listen to Wake by Dikembe. Like it'll only give me like 30 seconds. Not even.
The way to watch you sing my praises.
This is from that new record, newest record.
How we explode. Don't know.
Yep.
I like it.
It'll just give me that much.
I like it.
I'd be like, did you like it? Add it to the playlist. And it's like, why don't I just listen to it? All right. So, before they were in Fleetwood Mac, they were Buckingham Nicks.
Was that before?
Yeah.
I don't know the timeline. I know like Peter Green. There's like Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac, which was like the early version.
Yes.
And then they were like more blues based, maybe.
Yes. So, history of Fleetwood Mac, I guess, in 2-ish seconds that I know of. Mick Fleetwood has always been in the band.
Right.
It's his band. He's the drummer.
The Fleetwood of Fleetwood Mac.
Yes. And then the Mac comes from bassist John McVie, who's always been in the band.
Although it's not spelled MacV, it's McV.
Yes, I'm aware. Yes, and for those people at home. And then Peter Green. And I don't know when exactly Peter Green left the band, but we can look at a timeline. Oh my God, there's so many members, but not really. Peter Green. Peter Green left after like the first 3 records. But that's still in the early 70s. Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham join in, where are you? In 74.
Okay. Was there an overlap with Peter Green, or no?
No,
Okay.
like many years. So but anyways, I know at some point like Fleetwood Mac was looking for a new guitar player. And they're like, Stevie Nicks, we want you in their band. And he's like, cool, I'll do it, but she's coming with me.
Stevie Nicks is the girl.
So yeah, I'm bad. Lindsey Buckingham. I could screw that up all the time. Lindsey Buckingham, they're like, we want you as our guitar player. And then he's like, she's coming with me. Because she's a good songwriter. Like she wrote, like when they joined the band, like she wrote a lot of their hits.
Okay.
But also like the whole band writes songs. So, and before that, it was Christy McVie. She wrote a lot of the hits, and sang a lot of them too. So like, Don't Stop, or Don't Stop Thinking of, that's like her song. So yeah, and that's like when they joined. And also this is partially, they were at Sound City. So the Buckingham Nicks record was recorded at Sound City, where Nevermind was recorded. The board, now owned by Dave Grohl, and in his 606 studio, made a whole documentary about
Does
just
his wife
the
get
board.
half of that now?
Yes, probably.
With a chainsaw.
Oh my God. No, please don't. It's making the money.
It'd be amazing.
That board is making the money because of that documentary.
Yeah.
People are going there just because it's that studio, but also because of the board.
Yeah.
The same reason that people went to Sound City. But then Fleetwood Mac hears the Buckingham Nicks album and is like, ooh, I really like that guitar player. Let me get him. So this is off of the Buckingham Nicks album. Buckingham Nicks. You cannot get it on streaming. There's no physical copies unless you have like an original pressing of it. So it's like really, really well, it's not really hard because I'm going to like listen to it on YouTube. The song is the album you can't get. Here's the song that we're showing you a cover version of called Crying in the Night. It's the opening track of the album.
Mm-hmm.
We'll play a little bit of it. It's 3 minutes long, this version.
Okay.
Get the idea?
Yeah. Would I know any of these songs?
Any of these ones? Buckingham Nicks songs?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Crystal's the only one you can like click on besides Django, which is a John Lewis cover. That's an interesting choice.
So cover, I'm sure. Anyways, so two former friends of the pod, Andrew Bird, which we've had Andrew Bird on here, and Madison Cunningham. We've had Madison Cunningham. They decided, hey, let's like we really love that record and we love those songs. Like let's cover the whole album. So they came together and recorded the whole album, and because Cunningham rhymes with Buckingham, they decided to call it Cunningham Bird, and that's the album name.
Yeah,
and it's just that album straight through with them. Andrew Bird is a string player. I believe that he was in Squirrel Nut Zippers.
Oh, okay.
Like in the afterlife, we will be headed for a serious strife. Anyways, here is Crying in the Night, covered by Cunningham Bird.
She was that kind of lady, and times were hard.
Changing up by switching vocals. The majority of the panning is Madison on the left and Andrew Bird on the right. Like even like vocally or instrumentally. So sometimes like when there's violin, it's on the right. If it's supposed to be like the melodic instrument.
Right.
So just imagine them facing each other.
Say you needed someone to depend on, and you're all alone. She's the only one
Who can come take you far away and take your breath away?
but she'll leave you crying in the night. She's gonna leave you crying in the night. Yes, she's gonna leave you crying in the night. She's back in town, looking around.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's not like not for me.
Yeah.
I don't have an attachment to this, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
It's cool. It's cool that they were like, we're just gonna cover this whole album.
Yeah, and it's interesting that it's like it's a cover album of an album you can't listen to easily. So I thought all these, like, it's not on CD.
Yeah,
It's not on
I
tape.
read that like there's like a South Korean bootleg that you can get on CD, and that's it.
Yeah, or original vinyl pressings.
Yeah. Why? Like, what's the reasoning?
Not legal reasons, probably.
Yeah.
Or just like, no, they didn't like it. It was a commercial flop. I dig Andrew Bird and I dig Madison Cunningham, and then they did this, so it's kind of like it kind of popped up at the right time.
Yeah.
As far as our pod being like, hey, you got to cover. I found other cover versions of stuff that was just weird.
Yeah.
Which I'm just like, but that's the one that I want to go back to.
Yeah.
Like, it's recorded really well, and like it has its own interesting. Like, I didn't hear the original until I had already found the cover, and I listened to that whole album. I'm like, this is really, really good. And then I listened to the original. I'm like, I like the cover version better. Like this version of this song is 2 minutes and 35 seconds. They like condense it down. They're like, okay, there's not really an intro. We're just going to start it.
Yeah.
And like, it sounds better, but also obviously it sounds more modern because it is. And I love the play, like the whole record of just them. There's a lot of instrumental stuff on this record as well, or at least in the cover version of it. So like track 2 is just instrumental. So it's an interesting bit. Cover albums.
Yeah.
Interesting to me. Anything else?
I don't think so.
All right, then. This has been...
What are you doing?
I don't know. I love the face. Your face is like, what are you?
Well, thank you for listening, everybody.
Yes, and we'll be back next week with an original one. By the way, this is the beginning of year 5.
Yeah, it's crazy. I thought about that today.
Yeah. Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year.
And I'll stop it for real this time.